not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Home of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of society, but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome direction, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of society, but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome direction, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
It's supposed to be interpreted. It's not interpreted. For us, we are women in Africa. Would the peace keep us to say that we know that it's an answer the way that you put? And they take it for the court and can sit down and start to talking. Your please let us go into our work. Who want to go to the court and put your motto where we can stop it because of the law. Now, who they asking you? Your please sit one place to discuss our issue. I come from the hospital. I decided to my hospital to come to talk to you about our boy or we boy. Not all of us here. All of us here will walk over you. Now because you see what the things.
The chairman will come in, coach will come in. Yes, actually a little bit and
Representative Johnson Williams.
Right?
Okay.
Prince K. Koina of Bonkanti Electoral District. We welcome all of you people. You people are our models. Let's send out water to help this country become better.
Yeah.
What we have been seeing over the period of time in this country, it has to do with propaganda. When anything happens, they go to our mother and lie to them and say, oh, this, that. I must say, our mother who knows you need a real right. It was about being set up. So when I see women, I feel so proud for her advice and the guidance brought me to this fast. So when we are getting to things, people who cause all of the noise along the way, they pose themselves good at what we have been saying like we were all along. It's so pathetic or sorrowful to see our mothers and come with black eyes, so oh, one peace and this. Mommy, we are dealing with this peacefully. Not one day you people see on air causing, or when we started the process, and say, oh, look, we're fighting people. People fought us, but we're fighting. Those that were insulting, it's not like we were trained to insult people, but some of the orientation our parents gave us, we have been very quiet and calm into the press and engaged in the process constructively. We never went to court. He took her to court. He said he wanted due process. Our concern and the laws of this country and the rules that are adopted that's in line with the law of this country, the constitution of the country, then guarding the process alone. He said, where you find a majority? We all came, you and your friends and teams, before they made you leader, and you sat down, you to see you sat down to that place. More than 20 years have been water, getting yourself together. So many people have gone to the law. Right? They look at you and say, you be our head. It doesn't mean better than them, right?
I think
But
we
it
need
said
to
that
take position because customers come in.
one,
Marriage.
yeah, of course, there's no back. One minute to protect it, right? You look at all of you people, so, oh, what's her name, Mama? Bernice, look at my Bernice, you be our head. Because everybody can talk to people at the same time. And when one says talking, so, oh, my Bernice come and talk to the people. Now, how we told that man to say, you talk for us. But when we see you going contrary to what is in our house, we're going to fight you and say, yeah, you from there. You will put that upon that the majority of the people say, oh, yeah, you be there. The same majority of people that put you there, they say, move from there. It is not war. You say, oh, no, move from there. The majority number, the constitution number says that we must be for the 9. But the same say when you have to sell the constitution, you can do the Liberian people business. We will start with 43. So they will 1044. Nobody forcing him, nobody beating him, then you're going to do everything. You're hearing all the first. There are counts that will put in our resolution that we read, they have been on radio for you people to understand. We say, you man, when you were over there, evidence speaker, you throw more money for the Liberian people. Our mother didn't want to listen to that. You said it's okay, $1.5 million for you, but you win $4.7 million. The different way it went. Well, I know. If you sit in right here as a mother, somebody passing through your house, you will not know. In your room. So we look at it. You and your friend that got together, so before you send somebody to ECOWAS, because Liberia is part of the ECOWAS group, before you send somebody there, they should vote them. You say, I will sit down, say on the hair, they play, I will sound, they will not vote on the people. You send them there. These are micro looking, a lot of things. And you are ahead of those people. You controlling it and say, okay, say you here, don't have to what's out what they do, have excuse yourself for it. You begin to do consultancy for other people that you're supposed to control and tell them to do this one. The oversight we have, like I have company in my district. I think I go to them and make business with them. Because if I take a decision in the best interest of my people, I should not be biased into my decision because there's something that inflated my action. We feel so pitiful, we see our mother. What people say, okay, we say we'll come and see them. You see the information of where police coming? Are you feel police will come on? No.
Thank you.
Police will come, but they just say.
Thank you.
They just say university in the country. When we close it down the country, we don't move out. They say though, they say the lawmaker don't want it. When you see lawmaker, in order to do that thing, we want to go from the battlefront. The battlefront now come with taking. Nothing. It's a football team. And the football people got a camp. Then the coach be talking to the player, oh, moment tomorrow you go, you play number 9, you play number 7, you play number 8. That is how you go to education to the win. So we come together every evening and sit there and think about how we can bring better things to our country. It's so disgraceful this country is old and it's moving nowhere.
Exactly.
So the people who don't want to make the country to move forward, they can bring people say, oh yeah, go out there and go to step. One day they hear our group and go to step. Last time we have about 75% to prevent them from going to water. Today we discussed in our section, because we are the majority group, that we're going to adhere to the court process. Those are segregation of duty, but should have equal right and cooperate in the right path. So our legal team will go to the court on Tuesday, but we're eager to go to work. We've been going to work. Work is the Mahad section. Is it working? No. Tomorrow the people are sitting there and say, oh, my brother, we're not sitting under your gavel, you can't move from there. Oh, no, my granny move. Which means they're tired with what you have been doing. We are all grown people. You people elected up for 6 years each. The way we will perform, you will give us the opportunity. But when we have the elector will come, we say that man Bernice be the head because man Bernice will be talking this way. What they call speaker. They say first and more equal. We are all equal. We tired with it, so we say mama. So it's not war, mama. We can't fight war here. We're not disrespecting people. We'll respect the peace. We'll respect the law of this country. This will end peacefully. You won't accept violence. Trust me, I'm your son. I'm Prince Koina. I'll get the opportunity to the chairman to speak, but yeah, let you people know that it will be peaceful as we continue. Nothing bad we're doing here. Thank you.
District number 1, Bon County.
My Bernice,
Prince Koina. This
we
is
want to say thank you
of
to
this
you and your team for coming. Even if you are called us, someone to go call me, I will have come outside. Yeah, from session, we come from meeting the National Muslim Council. We met with them. They said they met with Kofa. They wanted to get ourselves the story. We'll give it to them. I just got in. I went in the bathroom to pray. I'm a Muslim. It's 2 o'clock. I needed to pray. I got over to say you people here. That's why I decided to ask him to walk with me to come and talk to you. Whatever might have happened, I apologize for that. But like he explained, we're not in conflict with anybody. They are our friends. After all of this, we always sit in the same chamber and do the Liberian people business. Since we started up to today's date, we had never engaged in violence. Our faithful Thursday, we went to go do our day block the deputy speaker for entering, and everybody on social media and saw the kind of thing they were saying about the Bob money. We can't be lawmaker and we're saying things on this kind of platform, saying those words that our children will sort of tell them, don't say. You as a lawmaker saying those things on the social media. That not only Liberia, internationally, people have seen that. People making other TikTok. It's disgraceful. All we say, they did that, we stood under the flagpole to read our petition. They started dancing around left and started chunking us. We never reacted. The police were there. We even went to the police, you stand, you see what is happening. But the police came between us and told them to go their side, we went our side. When we got to, we joined in our car, we left. From that day up to today, we remain peaceful and we will be peaceful. We're going to show all of you people from the majority bloc, not a day will do anything that will bring public disrepute to the national legislature. We are law-abiding people. We will follow the due process. We're going to court. Our lawyer will represent us along with chairman of the judiciary will go there. But we will do the Liberian people work. I just want to say thank you for coming. God bless all of you. We are your children. Anytime call on us, we'll be willing to talk to you. Okay?
Excuse me. Usually, I think the old saying that it's better to listen to the both sides of the story than to listen to one side of the story. We have been trying to push this to listen to the other side of the story. And now that we got your story, we want to appreciate you all, especially the both of you, for coming out here to look at these women, your mother, your sister, to be able to speak to them. We really want to appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.
This is the afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1, a chit chat between lawmakers from the majority bloc at that's the RLJ, and the WhipNet Women organization, meeting with them at the moment at LRJ. So let's bring you this information just coming in from the chairman of the CDC in person of Janga Augustus Cole. It reads, CDC Chairman Janga Augusto Cole has released a statement, of course, against Deputy Speaker Thomas Falla and the CDC lawmakers. The CDC National Executive Committee strongly condemns Deputy Speaker Thomas Falla and other CDC lawmakers who have disobeyed the CDC National Executive Committee and His Excellency President George Manan Weah, that should be former President George Manan Weah, to go against Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. These actions are clearly influenced by the Joseph Boakai government and intended to destabilize the CDC. These schemes will fail and the CDC will emerge stronger after all this. We are closely monitoring the situation. These developments speaks to the wider threats to Liberian democracy, where an overbearing executive can interfere with the functions of the other two branches, thereby undermining checks and balances. The evidence is clear that the UP government is undemocratic and has gone against every facet of the rule of law, as evidenced by disrespecting Supreme Court rulings, violation of the human rights, arbitrary dismissal of civil servants, it says, illegal treatment of Liberian diplomats deployed during the CDC government, and many more violations. We are all aware that under Liberian democratic practices, political parties have limited control over their members elected to the national legislature, as suspensions or expulsion have no bearing on their seats at the national legislature. We need a national convention on strengthening political parties' powers over their elected members at the national legislature. The CDC will be considering its next steps. We call on all partisans of the CDC to remain calm and collected, as the party is, it says, as the party in consultation with stakeholders consider next steps. So that's an information from the party chairman, Janka Augustus Core. So a lot of things happening. Plenty of things happening in the country. Capitol Hill. Today we witness the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Fala, joining his colleagues there at the majority block, and this have sparked out serious criticism, and people have their own version of his involvement with the majority block. Last Tuesday, that's this Tuesday, okay, it was Tuesday, yes, he wrote as to whether he may join the majority bloc or remain to where he was when he wrote the letter, only to have come on this Thursday, seeing him joining ranks with the majority bloc for an extra session aside from where he was on Tuesday. So what's your take? We bring out the issue, allowed you to weigh in on the matter, and we responsibly gave you the opportunity. So we ask that you responsibly discuss the issue full of inserts, and as we go about our rational discussions, please let us stick to the issue. All right. So we're gonna open the lines. What you make of the Deputy Speaker moved to the majority bloc, and you just listen to an interview or a chit chat between some members of the majority bloc and that of the women representing WIPNET when they paid a courtesy visit at RLJ, where the majority bloc members are. You listen to what they had to say, and you can digest and make your own informed contribution by calling 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. And on the flip side of the program, we will bring you a motivational message that's going to speak to the conscience of all of us as citizens of this land. So you can pull forth your calls. Let's talk about the legislative politics of Capitol Hill, what you make of the move of the Deputy Speaker, and where we stand now regarding the issue. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call this afternoon and form part of the afternoon conversation. So while we await your calls, we're going to go for a very quick commercial commitment to be read by Don't Go Away. Get your calls coming through. And after the commercial commitment, we take your calls. All right. This is the afternoon conversation. And my name is Rufus, pretty seated this afternoon. So let's go to commercial booth for commercial.
Tunapu.
What do you say you yelling for?
Come here, man. All day you making noise and people ear say you singing. No air, no air. Like a walking brief.
Don't leave on there and cross me, oh.
They say MTN Yellow Star is back and this season over is easy for everybody. You can audition online from now to the 13th and then live audition will start on the 14th. And the people going to be Ghana, Nima, and the biggest one will be held in Monserrato.
Letting you talking. What is that if I win?
La real if I win, the winner will take home a $2 million record deal with young feature entertainment, a brand new car, and a $300,000 wardrobe budget. Not all, plus 1 year of performance with MTN and video production deal and 100 gigabytes of data every month. But not all, 7-player winning $600,000 record deal, a year of performances with MTN, 100 gigabytes of data every month, and new this year for third place of $400,000 cash prize and 100 gigabytes every month. Hey man, don't forget to tell your fellow people to dial *415* your code hash to vote for you when you make it. And I'll be there live every Saturday for the live evasion show. Starting from October 12, you can see your singing more.
Get to my big trophy, I can credit for Momo. Don't you don't worry. Anything you do a Momo, you will get one. Anything you do a Momo, you will get one. Anything for Momo that baby, no. Momo that cheche, Momo that cheche, Momo that baby, no. Momo that
No, don't say I don't tell you. Will you see Momo to pay for everything now? Hey, la small thing, pay with Momo. Now the rain and the land I won't care you for, pay with Momo. Like your transportation for motorbike, taxi, bus, keke, and rental car, pay with Momo. Oh, la dia, pay with Momo. Even in the market you want pay for better ball, you better pay with Momo. Well, you want pay for 32-inch wheel, but pay with Momo. Let's see, pay for anything and everything with MTN Momo Pay. It's simple, fast, and secure, plus no extra charge. Yeah!
Dial *156*3# or download the MTN Momo app to pay for anything, anywhere in Liberia. It's simple, fast, and secure. No charges and no holla holla.
MTN.
Here you get. The way you can be making your face, you get also.
You boy, I need money quick. I get too much expensive on my head this month and right and I get.
So like everything I will tell you, take Momo loan, man.
Momo loan? Mobile money get bank now?
No, Momo loan, like some kind of quick service loan mobile money can give you. You can borrow up to $20,000 Liberian dollar at a very low interest rate and pay in 7 days, 28 days, or 30 days.
You joking?
So you see phone in my face? You can give me your phone, man. Dial *156*6#.
It's like ABC. For how do I pay back?
Let's see when you credit, man. Just dial *156*6# and select repay loan. Pay the poor money back.
I can credit again tomorrow?
You can borrow power. See your ways.
Whatever you need that little bit of money for, Momo Loan here for you. Dial *156*6# today and take a loan.
MTN.
After commercial commitment, we are back. Let's bring you information coming from the office of the Deputy Speaker relating to his crossover. And it reads, my fellow Liberians, as Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and a proud member of the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC, I am deeply committed to upholding both the party's principles and the trust of the Liberian people. My role in the House of Representatives has always been one of loyalty to our shared values and resolute support for Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, who has long dedicated himself to working for Liberia. The recent challenges facing the People's House are serious and must be struck off. Our inability to convey as one body threatens the democratic foundation upon which this nation is built. So, as the elected lawmaker of Electoral District Number 1, Foya Statutory District, Lofa County, and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 55th National Legislature, I consider it my duty, first and foremost, to safeguard the foundation by ensuring a transparent, effective, and wholesome functioning legislature. Therefore, I have decided to join my colleagues who have raised some grievances against Speaker Kofa, for which this honorable body is being brought to disrepute. These colleagues represent the majority of lawmakers in the House of Representatives, and they simply cannot be ignored. My decision to join the call for resolving this dialogue is not a repetition of my support for Speaker Fonati Kofa of the CDC. It is instead a demonstration of my unwavering commitment to our democracy, which must transcend and it says transcend any one individual or function. My interest here, therefore, is to ensure that I have the opportunity of listening to the concerns of my colleagues. This, to me, is the only way we can find an amicable solution to this matter that will satisfy all sides. Although I currently find myself in a marasmus of legal and political conundrum on Capitol Hill, I wish to assure all Liberians and members of the CDC in particular that I have consulted sufficiently across all sides, and I have taken a decision in the best interest of our country as well as our party. In my 19 years of membership with the CDC, since I joined in 2005, I have never betrayed my party, and I do not intend to do so ever. I wish to clarify unequivocally that I played no part in organizing the lawmakers calling for Speaker Kofa's removal. However, my decision to listen to them at this stage is in respect of our rules and procedures and the Liberian Constitution. It is not a choice against my party or the speaker, whom, oh my people, whoa, let me go back. Oh, did I lost track of this? Oh my God, let me get back to that quickly. I lost track of this stuff. Okay, that I got it. Okay, well. So you say, I wish to clarify. Okay, I did that part already. You say, okay, let me read back. I wish to clarify unequivocally that I played no part in organizing the lawmakers calling for Speaker Kofa's removal. However, my decision to listen to them at this stage is in respect of the rule and procedures in the Liberian Constitution. It is not a choice against my party or the speaker, whom I continue to respect and support. In so doing, I cannot ignore my responsibility to act when the legislative body is at a standstill and the functioning of the national government is at risk. I urged Speaker J. Fonati Kofa and my colleagues on all sides to come together, engage in open dialogue, and restore unity to our house. This is not a time for division or suffixation, but a moment for us to reaffirm our shared commitment to the people of Liberia. Let us work together to uphold the principles we are soon to protect and to restore the dignity of the people's house for the benefit of all Liberians. God bless the people of Liberia, the 55th legislature, and the republic. Amanda, he says. Wow. So that comes from the deputy speaker. What do you make of it? Like we continue to ask the question. He made it plain to us through his communication, stating that he wants to follow the rule of law and that of the rules and orders they have there at the House of Representatives. So he's in no disrespect to his party, but he wants to follow the rule of law. Hello?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, something is, I'm Emmanuel speaking to you from Upper Core community.
Okay.
Something the speaker left behind, the deputy speaker left behind, I want to add to his communication.
Mm-hmm.
The decision that he took, that he has taken to join the relegate lawmakers to amicably solve the stalemate at the legislature. It's in the interest of Liberians, and not only his interest, and in the interest of democracy, to preserve the democracy, preserve and protect our quest for democracy in this country for the past years, as he rightly put it. So that is my own input on the topic under discussion. Thank you for the program.
Thank you so much. 0778 665 073 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. What you make of the deputy speaker joining the rest of the majority bloc to carry on business, and he said, according to the rules and procedures, as well as the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, so demand his full engagement with the majority bloc, and his action is in no disregard or disrespect to his party. So what do you make of it? You listen to the chairman of the CDC. He also wrote stating that the speaker, the deputy speaker, violated and disrespected the mandate of the party. So 0778665073 0887 105 are the numbers to call. Let me read for you again what the party chairman Janga Augustus Core wrote concerning the deputy speaker's decision. He said the CDC National Executive Committee strongly condemns Deputy Speaker Thomas Falla and other CDC lawmakers who have disobeyed the CDC National Executive Committee. And His Excellency, he said, President George Weah should be former President George Weah to go against Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. These actions are clearly influenced by the Joseph Boakai government and intended to destabilize the CDC. These schemes will fail and the CDC will emerge stronger after all this. So the deputy, that's the party chairman, accusing President Boakai and the UP-led government for playing a major part in this rigmarole that is at the capital. So he went on to say, we are closely monitoring the situation. These developments speaks to the wider threats to Liberian democracy, where an overbearing executive can interfere with the functions of the other two branches, thereby undermining checks and balances. The evidence is clear that the UP government is undemocratic and has gone against every fight of the rule of law, as evidenced by disrespecting Supreme Court ruling, violation of human rights, arbitrary dismissal, civil servant, ill treatment of Liberian diplomats deployed during the CDC government, and many more violations. We are all aware that under Liberian democratic practices, political parties have limited control over their members elected to the national legislature, as suspension or expulsion have no bearing on their seats at the national legislature. We need a national conversation on strengthening political parties' powers over their elected members at the national legislature. The CDC will consider its next steps. We call on all partisans of the CDC to remain calm and collected as the party is consulting with stakeholders, consider next steps. So that's from the party chair, Janga Augusto Court. Earlier, I read for you what the deputy speaker had to say concerning his crossover to the majority bloc. What have you to say concerning this matter? We read out for you the both communications. You know what is unfolding there at the Capitol. What is your own take? What is your own understanding? Earlier on, we played you a live interview that was held a moment ago when the mothers went to see the majority bloc leaders, legislators at RLJ. And you listen to some of the lawmakers speaking out why they chose the path to get Speaker J. Fonati Kofa off the position. Some of the things or some of the counts they got against him is that he is the legal counsel for most of these concession companies and government institutions, and it is a violation. So on that note, these are some of the reasons why they chose to remove him. Let's get to hear from you. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105. As we await your calls, let's bring you a teaching by Miles Monroe. And it says, why politicians cannot be trusted. Why politicians cannot be trusted. So let's get this person first, then we'll go to our... Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. What's your name and join us from where?
My name is Mr. Joe, calling from Yadaway Junction.
Let's hear you.
Okay. What I just wanted to say in short is that for the Kofa, he must be expecting himself out. Because the majority black is looking for the 49 where he supported being crying for Thomas Faraka, he supported more than 10 in that he black there. And they were with him because Thomas Faraka was there, but as long as Thomas Faraka finished living today, from now to tomorrow or tonight, he will get more than 50. So saying 141 before you go, there's a small thing better than beating. Saying 141, you will get 50. So that my view, I want to tell him, so that he resign now and just go by his ways. His executive meeting, he want to call. Say he 149, you will get 50. So that my view.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Liberians are speaking their minds on the issues. Let's get to the line and take this person. Hello. Hello.
Hello, my brother.
How are you? What's the name and the journal from where?
I'm Clarence K. Mambu calling from Ghana Zoo.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this show. So, I'm a unity partisan, but I'm not interested that anything should happen without rule of law. I'm just telling my brother Janako, here myself for the same village from Rufa County. Look, if something happens, although this is a politics, but involving the old man, I think we all were here when Kabinda Jane Bende happened. The old man thought to UP lawmaker, but they did what they was to do. Okay? We all were here, Bani Samuka Bende happened, and we know the old man, he will principle. Since the thing started, we had never heard they have president doing, they have president saying. But the beginning of the crisis, to just be very frank, Brother Janako didn't play a role. The starting of the thing, politics always going with majority. That's the time it was to be calming people down or going over and saying all kinds of things. And you know the people too, they had their right. But I believe that from the beginning, or the camera could have been calming situation down. I don't think we're going to extend it far. So what he's doing, he must not continue to expand me to divide the people. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Liberians are speaking their minds concerning the situation of Capitol Hill. Let's get to hear more of you and all of your views. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name and you join us somewhere.
I'm Adam Andrews. I call you from the township of Louisiana.
Let's hear you, Mr. Andrews.
Yes, you know, I've been following the speaker, Saka, but it actually baffled me, and I realized that Liberia's problem lies on those who we elected as leaders continue to violate our own bylaws in this country. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and we expect different results. The Constitution lays it clearly that before you remove a speaker, you should have a 49 member. Go inspection, raise up the issue, and then the speaker will recuse himself. The deputy speaker preside, and you give him due diligence. Let him explain himself why, and then you guys put it into vote. 49% voting out. But if you look at over the years, in 2005, our constitution was tampered with. Speaker Snow was removed without due process, without the law then, right? Because it was supported by the executive. In Eric Starter, it was supported by the executive. We can't keep saying they are lawmakers and they be breaking the law. My brother, one day, few group of people will gather in a district and they will just get up and just get 5,000 signatures and they will impeach or certain representatives in this country. Because those people continue to break the law. It's absolutely wrong. I stand with Fanatic Kofa. He shouldn't resign. If they get anything against Kofa, let them go in tumor. Let them go by the Constitution. The Constitution says go in tumor, put the issue on the floor, and get a man due diligence. The man will recuse himself. The deputy speaker preside. If you not want a man, you put the man out. But you can't keep holding the law in your hand. So I stand with the speaker and I support President Bwaka's decision that when the budget time they should go to Fanatic Kofa because Fanatic Kofa is the legitimate speaker for Fala.
077-866-5073-0887-105-105 are the numbers to call and form part of the program. The afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1. And we are talking about the situation of Capitol Hill. The deputy speaker just joined the majority bloc. After Tuesday, he wrote a communication to that body asking that they give him some time to consult his legal counsel on the matter. as to where he's going to join or not. And after a few hours, today is Thursday, we saw the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Bangafala, joining the majority bloc. So there are a lot of criticism from his party, from his fellow lawmakers from the other end, and Liberians in general. What do you make of it? What's your own understanding regarding the politics that's been played there at the Capitol? Was the Deputy Speaker, or is the Deputy Speaker in the wrong decision that he took? I read for you his communication, and I read the communication from the chairman of the CDC. So what do you make of that? Let's get to hear from you. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call and form part of the program. The afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1. While we await your calls, let's get a few lines from Dr. Miles Moreau. That he talks about why politicians cannot be trusted. Wow, let's get to hear this.
My friends, there's some examples of character that you need to write down. Now, why do we call, for example, the alphabet characters? Because A is always A. B is B at 2 a.m. in the morning. C is still C, whether it's in Africa, Asia, or in the Bronx. It doesn't change. That's why we call them characters. Why do we call numbers characters? Because 1 is always 1, and 2 is always 2. Whether you are using it in the night or the day, it doesn't change. It's character. Why do we call statues characters? Because, like Victoria, no matter what happens around them, they never change. Why do we call principles characters? Because principles are laws. They never change. You know, one of the secrets to my success as a coach of government leaders and business leaders, one of my secrets of being an effective communicator, one of my secrets of being a good teacher is simple. It's not my education. The secret to my success is I only teach principles. That's it. You can never disagree with a principle. You can ignore it. You can hate it. But you can never disagree with it. For example, gravity is a principle. You could fast and pray and speak in tongues, but if you jump off a building, you're going to die. Why? You are violating a principle. Character is that way. That's why a person with character does not live on what's popular. They live on what is principle. And this is why it's very difficult for politicians to have character. Because politics is based on popularity, which means you will literally sacrifice your principles to protect your popularity, which cancels your character, which means you cannot be trusted. There are preachers who are politicians. They would sell their principles for a pot of porridge. No character. Character, therefore, is simply that which is unchanging. Write it down. My question is, how often do you change? Who are you? Are you the same person all the time? Are you consistent? Are you predictable? Leaders must have character. Why? Write this down. People will not follow you if they don't trust you. So character attracts loyalty. I want to give a few more definitions of character for you to understand how serious it is. First of all, character is a commitment to a set of values without compromise. What are values? Values are things you value. That's all. Not complicated. For example, if you value your marriage vow, you will never commit adultery. So when a person commits adultery, they don't value their marriage nor their marriage vows. So you can't respect them. And they lose the trust of their spouse and their children and even their in-laws and perhaps even the church that they are part of. See, your values will protect you. Secondly, character is the dedication to a set of standards without wavering. What are your standards that you've set for your life? My standards produce my character. I will never violate my standards. You got to say that every day. I do not tell lies. That's a standard. I do not steal. That includes stealing time from your job. Telling people you are sick when you are not sick. This is a lack of character. You are a thief. I wonder why you're smiling. See, you don't understand. Character is so subtle. There's no excuse in life for breaking your standards. You know, I've heard business people say, and I talk to them, I've even, in some of my business dealings and my negotiations for business investments, I sit with people. Many people come to me, they want to do business with me, and they want me to invest in their companies. And, I do a lot of this stuff. And I hear people say sometimes, honesty is my best policy. Now, whenever you tell me that, I do what Joseph did. Honesty should never be your best policy. Never. Because best policy means I have second best, third best, fourth best, fifth best. I can't trust you. You have no character. A person of character would say, honesty is my only policy. Thirdly, character is self-imposed discipline for the sake of moral convictions. Character is what? Self-imposed discipline. That means a person of character doesn't need the police. They police themselves. A person of character locks themselves up in the prison of their own convictions. And they throw away the key. Do you have character? Are you for sale? See, your future depends on your character, not your charisma. And most leaders, whether they are politicians, preachers, or parents, they try to live off their charisma. They try to live off their talent. They try to live off their gifts. Your gifts will never protect you. As a matter of fact, your gift will destroy you. Because the only thing that can protect your gift and your talent is your character. This session is the most important session you ever sat in your life, because this is where you learn what protects your entire future, and it's your character. And you've never been taught this in your whole life. I know you haven't. Your seminary never had a class on this. And that's why preachers are falling like flies. You know, I think about it. Character is really what I call a constant effort to integrate your words, your deeds, and your actions as one. Everybody say integrate. The word integrate means to become one. This is very important. Write that down. To integrate means what? To become one. So character is when your words, your deeds, and your actions are one. You are not schizophrenic. A person without character will say one thing do another and promise something else. So you never know who you're talking to when you're talking to them. No character. Now here's a surprise. Number 5. Character is sacrifice for principles. So character means you are willing to sacrifice friendship to protect your principles. You are willing to lose your best friend in order to keep your principles. Do you have character? Who are you with right now that you shouldn't be with? Think about it. What are you doing right now in secret that you shouldn't be doing? Are you willing to sacrifice that to protect your principles? Somebody offer to pay your mortgage off if you just sleep with them once. Would you sacrifice to protect your principles? Character. I like this last one. Character is simply integrity. Everybody say integrity. Now look at integrity and look at integrate. They're the same word. Integrity means you are one with yourself. Integrity means that you are one with yourself. Do you know, when I did some research some years ago on the word in the Hebrew for holiness, write the word holy down, I discovered that the root word for holy is one. One. The Hebrew concept of holiness is integrity. One. That means you are one. The number one confession in the Bible about God is the Lord our God is one. Now, some of you don't understand why that's important. If you were to talk to a Jewish rabbi right now in this city and ask him, when you meet them, ask them, when you see them, ask them, what is the most important confession in the Bible? They will tell you, the Lord our God is one. What does it mean? It means he's holy. What is holy? You are one. This is very interesting. Holiness means you are integrated. You are not more than one person. You are not a different person on Monday that you are on Tuesday. You're not a different person in the night at 2 a.m. than you are in the pulpit on Sunday morning. You are one. You are not multi-personality. When the Bible says be holy, it's telling you be one. Stop being a hypocrite. It's character. The foundation for trust is integrity. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. What did I say? The foundation of trust is integrity. When you are one, people will eventually trust you. That means your word is always good. You say what you said, you do what you said, and then you act what you said. That's holiness. So wearing a long dress or a white collar with a purple shirt turned backward with a big chain in your pocket is not holiness. Wearing a long robe with a turban on your head doesn't impress me. I want to know if one person is under that robe, just one. You can call me, you can bring your card to me and show me all your titles. Right, Reverend, Honorable, Bishop, Eternal, Sacred Man of God. I don't care what you say. I still don't trust you. I don't. Because I don't know which one of you I'm talking to. That's why the Bible says, know them that labor among you. Don't just bring anyone into your church to preach. Even if they are on TV. Don't be attracted to charisma. Seek out character. Some years ago, my wife and I hosted a marriage conference in our church. And I met this guy when I was doing a show for the 700 Club with Pat Robertson in Virginia Beach. And I was doing a series of programs with him and the people there. And I met this guy, and he did a show on marriage, and strengthening marriages. It's an older guy. And I was so impressed. He had a book and everything and sounded good. I didn't know him. I just met him for the first time. And we were having this marriage conference in our church in the Bahamas. And I said, this guy sounds good. So I approached him and I invited him to come to the Bahamas. He was so excited to come to the Bahamas. So he came to the Bahamas and he did the seminar with me, and it was a wonderful session and everything. He brought his wife with him. And then 2 months later, I saw an article where he got a divorce from the woman that was with him, his wife. I was confused. So I called him up. He was living in Colorado at the time, and I said, I just want to make sure that this article I'm reading is not true. Are you divorcing your wife who was with you when you did a seminar for my people? Who believed you? And he began to try and explain himself. I said, you will never come back to our church. And you will never come back to our island. I hung the phone up and called the bookstore. I said, take every one of his books off the shelf. Because if what he is teaching is not working for him, it shouldn't be taught to us. Write this down. Lead with your life. Your life is the weight of your words. What did I say? Tweet that right now to someone. See, that's the problem with us. We think that we are impressed by our language, you know, these deep things we say and how good we can speak and preach and how we can, hallelujah, yes, Lord. Listen, brother, you ain't got no life. Hey. You know, it's like a guy who sells diamond, but he ain't wearing none. Never trust a salesman who don't use what he's selling. Clap. I am faithful to my wife so that you could believe my words. I am a good father to my children so you could believe my words. Let me put it this way. There's no such thing as a personal life. Write it down. There's no such thing as a private life. Write it down. So don't you ever tell people what I do in private is none of your business. It is my business. Because it determines whether I trust what you say publicly. It's called character. As a matter of fact, I have come to the conclusion that a person of character doesn't need to talk. They don't need to talk. They just show up. When I first met Nelson Mandela, it was the most overwhelming moment in my life. Private dinner, 16 people. He had just come out of prison. His first trip was to the Bahamas. He wanted to meet my prime minister, Sir Lyndon Pinley, who was the first one to agitate for his freedom out of prison. So he wanted to come and thank my prime minister personally. So his first trip out of prison was to my country. And the prime minister called me and he invited 16 people to the dinner. And I was one of them. I don't know. It's such an honor to meet an icon. I think some of you saw the photograph of us together a couple of times. When I saw him, I saw character on two legs. He didn't have to speak. Do you know why? He went to prison for 18 years plus 7 and never changed his.
Thank you for joining us for another.
Let's talk a little bit about some questions about leadership, because everyone thinks that you know, leadership is a simple matter, but here's some questions about leadership. Is leadership about power? Is it about position or talent or skill, authority, or is it about physical traits? Is the leadership about social status, maybe? Something the leadership is about family heritage. You know, I was born into a family of politicians, so I'm automatically earmarked to be a national leader or something. Or I was born into a family of pastors, so I'm automatically earmarked to be a spiritual leader or something. This is not necessarily true, but people take this kind of thinking and they try to make that a part of their leadership mentality. But here's a big one. Is leadership about charisma? Which is a very important study that the Greeks did and the Romans adopted. And of course, they have exported that to us in our colonization experience, that there's certain gifts that a person has that makes them different from everybody else. This is very dangerous. They call it charisma, which is a Greek word that means giftings of the gods. What about leadership concepts and philosophy? I always give you mine. This is my belief about leadership. I believe that everybody was born to be a leader, but not necessarily over people. You were born to be a leader in an area of gifting. And therefore, trapped in every follower is a hidden leader that needs to be released. And you were born to become that leader, but the process is important. Every human being possesses, I believe, the capacity to be a leader, but most of them will die never manifesting that capacity. And I also believe that you were born to be a leader by attracting people to your gift, and you serve them your gift. It is that service that makes you valuable to the people. So leadership is not about your personality. It's not about your skills or your academic achievement. It's really about you serving your gift to your generation. The problem is, if you never find your gift, you will never find your leadership. And so leadership has more to do with self-discovery than it has to do with finding followers. This is why all true leaders never sought followers, none of them. They were too busy pursuing a passion based on a gift that they discovered that they were born to serve their generation. So leadership really is about serving yourself to the world. I call it self-distribution. I remember the question was asked, who wants to be the greatest? The answer was, whoever can be the greatest servant. Not necessarily slave or subservient. It's talking about whoever can serve himself to the world the best. The world will consider him great, of course, in the eyes of the Creator as well. So this is what my philosophy is. Now, my definition of leadership is always important for me to repeat, because I never assumed that everybody heard me before. And plus, these CDs travel the world. What is leadership? My definition is simple, yet complicated. Write it down. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through what? Inspiration, not manipulation. And that inspiration is generated by a passion, motivated by a vision that the leader develops or exposes. And that vision is birthed from a conviction in the heart of the leader. That conviction comes from a sense of purpose that they discover. So it's a very interesting complication of becoming a leader. It's the process. I always tell people to become a leader, you have to turn the sentence upside down and start from the bottom. In other words, to become a leader, you must first discover your purpose, which then leads you to a deep conviction that you were born to do something important for humanity. That conviction, it shows up in pictures. So we call it vision. That vision becomes a passion for the person. That passion inspires other people, and once you inspire people, you can influence them, or they allow you to influence them, and that influence is what we call leadership. So true leaders never seek leadership. They are too busy pursuing a purpose. So when a person wants to be a leader, tries to be a leader, pursues to be a leader, that's a very dangerous person. If you study true leaders, most of them are reluctant leaders. They never wanted to be leaders. Circumstances drove them, or a passion drove them, or a conviction took over their lives. This is why true leaders never seek power. Matter of fact, some of them actually hate power. They love to empower. Completely opposite. Their desire is to make other people great, to free other people, to make other people prosper. True leaders are completely contradictory to those today we call leaders, because they seek the good of other people, not the good that people can give them. When I read about leadership, I remind you of these two statements, one by Abraham Lincoln. Here's a man who was a reluctant leader. He says, concerning the position he had on slavery, he told his party, his own political party, he says, slavery is wrong. Black people should be freed in America. Do you know that most of his party members owned slaves? And they said to him, you are crazy, we're going to kill you. He went against his own political party. Show me politicians who would do that today. Your conviction should be bigger than your political platform. You know, think about this. All those who were in his party and government at the time, we remember none of them. Write this down. Your convictions make you historical. You are not remembered for what you compromised on. You are always remembered for what you stood for. If you compromise, I guarantee you'll be forgotten easily. He said these words, I have said nothing but for what I am willing to live by, and if it be the pleasure of the Almighty God to die by, end quote. The guy says, look, I'm already dead when it comes to this conviction about slavery. I always say that real leaders are dead people. That's why you can't hurt them, you can't insult them, you can't criticize them, you can't oppose them. Why? They can't feel. They are dead. They've made a decision already. They have an agreement and a contract with death. Some of them actually invite death into their lives. Like Mahatma Gandhi, who sat in that prison and said, I'll never eat another morsel of food until the people of India are free from the yoke of colonialism from Britain. He imposed his own death. No wonder why they had to make sure he didn't die on their hands. Here's another one, almost 100 years later. Read. It says what? It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and to achieve, but if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die, end quote. Don't they sound like they know each other? Two different lifetimes, separated by years and years and decades, and yet the same spirit. These are dead men. That's why you couldn't kill them. I believe one of the greatest statements about leadership is found in these words. If you save your life, you will lose it. But if you're willing to lose your life for a cause that is noble, they will never erase you from the books of life. You know, in this conference, you got a choice whether you will be remembered or forgotten. And most people are so useless to their generation that they literally need a tombstone in the earth to remind us that they used to be here. I hope that this conference will destroy your need for a tombstone. That you would etch your name in the hearts of humans because of your willingness to die for a cause, to help humanity become what they were intended to be, that you will never be forgotten. Leadership, therefore, is not about finding something to live for. It's about finding something to die for. This is leadership. And this is why all who claim to be true leaders suddenly are tested. And the test is not to destroy, the test is to prove. The moment you decide to step out in your gift all hell breaks loose. The good news is heaven also breaks loose at the same time. Go ahead and clap. That's a good place to clap. When you find a cause that is worthy of self-sacrifice, you become the beginning of a leader. Write this statement down. True leadership is born when you discover the problem in life you were born to solve. I am of the deep conviction that every human came to earth to solve a problem. Most people don't ever find the problem, so they basically get a job. The fourth statement on this slide is very important. True leadership is a personal commitment to sacrifice yourself for a public cause. This is very important. True leadership is what? A willingness to personally sacrifice for a public cause. Some of the things I've been through in this country, what they did to me, personally, I was willing to bear it. You think about Mr. Nelson Mandela, who I will refer to a lot tonight. This man had a wife and children and decided he would give up his family for 27 years. A personal sacrifice for a public cause. Martin Luther King Jr. had a wife and children. I spoke to his daughter many times, Bernice, and she would say to me, I don't know my father. I don't know him. She says, I never saw him. I saw him on TV as a child. I saw him leading all these people with horses and dogs, but he never was my daddy. It was a personal sacrifice for a public cause, and that's why we can't forget him. Your problem is you are so protective of your personal protection. You have no public contribution. This is leadership. You cannot change the world and have a normal life. I know what I'm talking about. I hardly sleep in my home. I was counting the days I spent at home this year, and I'm embarrassed. But it's the public passion that demands the private sacrifice. And that's why most people prefer to be followers. Followers can have a 9-to-5 job and watch TV from 6 o'clock. And we forget them. And we put tombstones where we lay their bodies to remind us that they used to be here. What a tragedy. I put it to you, when I think of this woman, Mother Teresa, a simple teacher of high school in India, decided, I'm going to quit my job. And she used her last paycheck to buy food from the street vendors to distribute to the beggars and the lepers on the street. Would you use your last paycheck for other people? Personal sacrifice for a public cause. Write this down. True leaders do not seek followers. True leaders attract followers. Why? Because followers are attracted to the person's gift. They are attracted to the person's passion that makes them attractive. And that's what makes the leader the leader. People are attracted to their gift. It's like a fruit tree. A fruit tree never brings its fruit to you because its fruit is its gift. It attracts you. And this is why attraction inspires people to submit their energy and their time and their resources to your public cause. can I just warn you that when people start gathering around you, never believe it's about you. See, the problem begins when you think it's all about you, that you are the leader. No, you have something that they want. And this is why most of the worldly celebrated people, famous people, always collapse under the weight of what they call fans.
Oh yes, what a wonderful one. We're going to get more of that in subsequent time, but time have called with us. We thought it wise to bring to your attention this teaching so that it enlightens our minds on the day-to-day activities, our political landscape, of course, what is unfolding in our country and our personal lives. I always follow these people, and it helps to build me to be the best version of myself. Like I always say to you, your attitude will always pass through the office of your character. And you listen to Mas Moreau. He told you, your character. You know what it is when it comes to your character. So a lot of us will need to work on these things. We are not perfect, but the character we exhibit out there showcase a lot of us, a lot about us. Your attitude will always pass through the office of your character. Thank you so much for those of you who play your listening role, those who view us via our Facebook page. We appreciate all of you, and those of you who call in, we also appreciate your participation. We look forward to another fascinating time when the next team will be here, God willing, on tomorrow. Fam Fomba and Martina Tupa will be here to take you through, to conclude this week's presentation of the afternoon conversation and that of the positive show in the morning. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I always say to you, two things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And we must take responsibility of two things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will suffice to solve most of the world's problems," unquote. So don't be carried away by fame. Like the Bible would say, chant is deceitful, beauty is vain. The one who fears the Lord shall be praised. Have yourselves a wonderful and God bless day. For my end, I love to leave you like the way the Basa people would do. Bewrao. No safe depository of the ultimate powers of society, but the